Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in the middle of the afternoon. I'm super excited because Abby's pretty much going to take over this call, but I had asked her pretty much right after she ranked up if she would have a call with us and just give us like, I don't know, any kind of not motivation, but just kind of like tips and tricks and guidance in how she did what she did because she ranked up when there wasn't a Happy Juice sale. There we were out of watermelon at the time, and it was pretty slow month. Like summer in general is pretty slow for network marketing. I think we could all agree though that even though it is still slow, it's still like a very fruitful and successful and fulfilling business to run. So I'm pretty much just going to hand it off to her, and yeah, you could take it away.
Okay, hi. Sorry for the weird afternoon timing. This is just the best time when my kids are hopefully napping. They have not been taking any issues right now, so I'm like checking my monitor constantly. But I did make some notes, so I'm going to try and kind of like stick to them because I am the type of person that I ramble a lot. Like I will go off on tangents all the time, so I'm going to try and stick to them. But also like stop me anytime if you guys like want me to elaborate on something or like ask questions or whatever. Like I don't want to be the only one talking the whole time. I'm happy to, but I would love it to be like more collaborative. So, and I'm also the type of person that I like more tangible tips. Like I'm not like motivation is great and stuff, but you can find that anywhere. And so I like things that are kind of like our industry specific and like our team specific and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going to be a little bit more tangible tips. But I want to start by saying a couple things. One, I'm literally like nobody special. Like I like like obviously really exciting to hit any rank. But like I don't have a big following. I have like 700 followers on Instagram. So all of this stuff is like all the tips that I'm going to share are tips for the average person that can implement anytime. Um, and like in addition to that, like probably one of my top tips is like to not compare yourself where you're at to anybody else. Like because I feel like when we compare, that starts this like spiral of like, oh, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that or I'm not hitting these numbers or my growth chart doesn't look like this. And like you see all these to just like stay in my own lane and like let people inspire me, but not like try and compare too much. Because you don't know where people came from. So I have been in network marketing for almost 5 years exactly. So it's not like I just like jumped into Amari. I mean, I started with Amari in June, but it's not like I just like started in network marketing 3 months ago and like built this huge um organization overnight. Like I've have a like larger community from my previous business and I built that like no trust factor that you'll hear about a lot in network marketing. So that obviously took a lot of time. So that's part of it. And also it's a team effort. So like, when you hit a rank, you have that title, but it's because of your whole organization, all of your customers, all of your team members and their customers. So it's obviously like a team effort. Um, but along with that, I would say a really fun and like helpful thing is to find a running buddy that you can work this business with. So like figuring out, they always talk about if you watch any trainings, like making your dream team list, and figuring out the people that you really want to work with and approaching those people. But if you find a running buddy or somebody that you really like vibe with that wants to kind of like join with you and do things together. So this was Kylie for me. We signed up the same day. She is family, like we work really well together. And so we kind of just took off at the same time. And that made it really fun because you have somebody to like bounce ideas off of and like collaborate with and ask questions with, and you don't feel like you're in it alone. And even if it's like, even if you've been doing this for months, and you don't have your running buddy yet, it's not too late. You can always find somebody that wants or that you like, and like really foster that connection in that role. So I think that that's something that's really um like helps you stay in it for the long run, is like the community and having somebody to work with. And that could even be your upline too, or a sideline, like having somebody that you can, hold accountable and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, if you have somebody that you enroll that runs with you, that's going to help with your OV and all that stuff. So, okay. I'm just going to start going down my like list of actual tips now. One thing that I think helps a lot when you're looking at your numbers and trying to get your OV up or your VOLL or whatever, I think a lot of times we revert to sales, like we revert to trying to get customers. And I went into this from day one with the opposite mindset, which I've never done in network. In 5 years, I've been with really one company mostly, but like I've dabbled in other companies and stuff. Never, ever, ever have gone like with the intention of building a team. I just always gravitated towards sales because that was more fun, less stressful, like just felt more natural. And this time I was like, no, like I really believe in this company and this opportunity. And so I'm going to go into it really like sharing about the brand partner side, not just trying like, because obviously when you're enrolling brand partners, you're also selling Happy Juice. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. But that's like, not that time really matters, but like with you doing less work of trying to enroll your own people, when you enroll brand partners and they're enrolling people, that obviously just like naturally grows your business more. So I find that talking about the business often leads to enrolling more brand partners, which leads to your organization growing. And I don't talk, I don't get on every single day and like talk constantly about Amari and about the business, but I sprinkle things in all the time about why I'm grateful for like being in network marketing, why I'm grateful for partnering with Amari, what it's done for me, getting our commission check email yesterday while I'm snuggling my baby, like stuff like that. Just trying to share things like that more often so that people get a glimpse of like what it can look like for them, instead of just being like, Amari's great and here's the comp plan and you can earn $500 and like all that stuff is well and good. And you definitely should talk about that too. But like giving people real life pictures of how the business can bless them really just like plants the seed and like helps it grow. The more that they see that they're going to be more likely to inquire or join or whatever down the road. During free enrollment periods, which seems like happen a lot lately. So pretty often, even if it's not free enrollments, because sometimes it's cool when people actually have like skin in the game and they actually pay for their enrollment upgrade. They're really going to take it seriously because they just paid $70 for it. But definitely when it's free, I'm always asking people if they are ready to order, like when they're ready to order Happy Juice and you're having that conversation, if they want a customer cart or a brand partner cart. Like it's just really that simple to like offer the opportunity without being like pushy of like, oh, you should join my team and you should sell Happy Juice. You can literally just be like, it's free. Do you want an affiliate cart so that you have it if you decide that you love it and you want to share it? That takes a lot of the pressure off of like trying to have those conversations. And if you're not quite comfortable having like talking about why you want somebody to join you, that's a really great like segue. And if they're like, oh, what does that entail? Then you can have that conversation. And if they're like, no, I just want to order as a customer, that's great. Send them the customer link. And then then you've planted that seed of like, then they're going to be paying a little bit more attention when you start talking about the business opportunity. Along with that, again, I used to like steer people away in my past business. I would like steer people away from joining my team because I like, for a lot of reasons, but I really was like, I just want to like enroll customers and all of this stuff. And now I'm realizing that that's not like you don't want to make that decision for people. So if anybody is like even remotely interested in the business, even if you are like you've seen the things that they've done in the past, like if they tried businesses and failed, or like they've expressed interest in the past and then like never committed or whatever, and like you always have those people that you're kind of just like, "Hmm, they're probably not going to do anything with it." I still send them the brand partner card because 9 times out of 10 people will surprise you. Like a lot of times, and I'm like the perfect example of this with my last company. It was a makeup and skincare company. And I never wore makeup. Like I literally didn't know the first thing about makeup, didn't have a skincare routine, did none of that. Like didn't know anything about network marketing, didn't know anything about social media. I literally signed up on a whim because I was like, oh, this looks fun. Like, let me try it. Had zero faith in myself, like thought I was just gonna like flop in the first month. And obviously like it took off and went a completely different direction. So if my enroller had been like, no, you should just order as a customer because she thought that I wasn't going to do anything with it, like my life would look completely different. Her life would look different with like, so I just always try and like don't count people out and really just like give them the benefit of the doubt and give them all the resources and the support that you would anybody else at the beginning, because a lot of times those are the people that are going to come around once they get enrolled and plugged into the resources and the team chats and seeing the energy here and seeing the potential, that they're actually going to like do something with it. Okay. So I feel like, although I'm just saying like enroll everybody that wants to, I think there's some strategy behind that, because generally the people that are going to come to you or express interest, if you are talking on your stories or posting on your social media, um, with your ideal person in mind, those are more likely the people that you're going to attract, that are going to like express interest or have those conversations with you. So that's something I try and think about a lot. Like we don't need to enroll everybody to have a successful business or organization or team, or to hit a certain rank or whatever. Like you don't need to enroll every single person. And I think they talked about this yesterday on the call, maybe I can't, it was on one of the calls this week. um but like it makes it a lot more fun to work with people that you can connect with. Like I don't really want to, not saying that I'm not going to, like if a person like a really corporate, works 12-hour days, like super into her job person wanted to enroll with me with Amari, like happy to have you. That's not really my ideal person. Like I want to work with people who are like me, who are stay-at-home moms, who are busy, who want something simplified, who, just all that kind of stuff. It's a lot easier for me, one, to naturally talk to this person because I'm basically talking to myself on social media when I'm talking to my ideal brand partner. And they're going to vibe with that more. Like they're going to connect with you on who you are and what you're sharing. And I just feel like it's more fun when you can like work with people that are similar to you and have similar, I don't know. Yeah. So that's like one of my tips, is just kind of like trying to talk to basically yourself, whoever because generally your ideal person is going to be similar to you. So like getting on your stories and pretty much talking to like the you that you were before you enrolled is going to be a good way to get people enrolled with you that are similar to you. Okay. Um, so talking to your ideal person on social media, or just social media in general, a couple things. I'm going to start going on all these different tangents, you guys. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you let me talk, I'm just going to keep talking. So, if you are not like, I'm kind of taking this from something that someone said on one of the other calls this week, but she was basically like, how do you talk to, or how do you like promote the business, or how do you share about the opportunity, or talk to your ideal brand partner when you're not seeing success in your own business, if you're not seeing the growth, if you've only enrolled one person this month and you haven't hit your focus on 5, like how can you share like authentically that like, yes, I want to bring you into this business when you're not necessarily like where you want to be or where you think you should be or whatever. And that's where I would say to just like take people along on the journey. Like no matter where you're at, no matter how long you've been in it, no matter like what your numbers look like or what your rank is or anything like that, like taking people along on the journey of just like I started sharing Happy Juice before I even got my box. Like I started sharing the business before I even got my box because I was like, I did my research. I believe in these products. I'm excited to try them. I'll share with you guys how I like them, like my own results. Like this is why I decided to do the brand partner upgrade because of X, Y, and Z. Like just really taking them along on the journey so that like they realize that it's one, you're a real person and you're not just in it just like to make a sale, but you're really like why you really love the product, why you're still sharing about it every single day, even if you're not seeing the results that you wanted. Like just trying to like be a lot more authentic about where you're at. It's okay that you're not where you want to be or whatever. I think like that shouldn't let you like don't let that stand in your way, because if you're not where you want to be and then you're not talking about the business and you're not enrolling people, then you're not going to ever get to where you want to be, because you have to do the one to hit the other. So but along with that too, something that I notice a lot that I don't do is like making my whole page about Amari. I find that when I post about like more than like one or two stories about Amari or Happy Juice or anything, like anything business related, my views go way down. And I don't want that. Like we don't want that, period. Like you're on social media to connect with people and to share your life and all that stuff. And so you basically make your whole page feed or an Amari feed. Like you want to sprinkle that stuff in like it's another part of your life. Like you're sharing your kids or you're sharing your pets or your food or your workouts or like whatever it is that you share about every day. Let Amari and Happy Juice be one more of those things. So I'm gonna maybe like step on some toes here, but I don't think you have to post about Happy Juice every single day. Obviously it's great to have that consistency, but like if you are only going to get on social media to throw up a couple graphics about Happy Juice because you're like, oh, I haven't posted about it today, don't do that. If you're going to do that, sandwich it in between two like other things. Like I post my coffee every single morning. Like I'm like snuggling my baby and I'm drinking my coffee. I post that every single morning because I'm like, at least there's like some real life content there. It's really easy to just snap that quick boomerang. And then if I want to share about Happy Juice after that, it doesn't feel super like salesy because that's the only thing I posted that whole day. So all that to say, just like try and let it sprinkle into your real life where it just flows in your stories or in your feed, where it's not just like constant Happy Juice. Because the people that like people don't know that they're interested until they're interested, you know? So like if they tune you out before they really realize that they're interested, then they've already tuned you out. Does that make sense? Like I've muted people because I'm like, they literally only ever post about their business and I'm not interested. It's not to say that I wouldn't be interested later on, but like I'm never going to see their stuff again because I muted them. So then I'm never going to like become interested because I forgot. Does that make sense?
I agree so much. And can I just say one thing?
Yes.
I think we all forgot, not all of us, I'm not speaking for all of us, but when Instagram first came out with stories, like think about the word story. Like it is there to tell a story about your day, like that day, because they only last for 24 hours. So I think like throwing up graphics is like a very easy thing to do. But if you're not telling a story of like your day, and don't overcomplicate it, like it doesn't need to be like this overly strategic thing, but sprinkling it in because it is part of your lifestyle is what is going to attract your like ideal target audience. You, before you started Happy Juice, like they need to see other parts of your life to actually relate to you. And then once they relate to you and then see Happy Juice, and then you start talking about like who you were before Happy Juice versus like it's made up of 3 supplements. I mean, like that's important to say, but a lot of people want to hear like, okay, why did you start taking it? Now, what kind of shifts have you started to see? They want to hear that. And I just think I love that you brought that up, because it's like, don't make your entire account a Happy Juice account, because that gets you muted so fast. so fast. And then you're not going to be really reaching the people that you want to reach, because they might have unfollowed you or they might have muted you and you just don't know. So I love that you brought that up, and you can continue.
I'm gonna like kind of go off of that too, which I have thought, and it literally just like went out of my brain as soon as I started talking. What was I just gonna say? I might have to come back to it because now it just like escaped me.
Hate when that happens.
Like, what did you just say that I was just gonna expand on? Okay, well, I'm gonna move along because now I can't remember what it was. I should have wrote it down. This is why I have to take notes, because if I don't like write it down, it just leaves my brain immediately. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It makes you more relatable to be sharing 90% of like your life outside of Amari and Happy Juice and sprinkling it in, because the people that, if you're trying to enroll brand partners to build your organization, or even a customer that's going to like share their link or whatever, if all of your stories are constantly Amari and Happy Juice, and if your whole feed is constantly Amari and Happy Juice, like you can obviously sprinkle that stuff in, and like even if like in your captions talk about your business, even if it's like a video of your kids or whatever, people are going to think that that's what they have to do this business, and like a lot of people don't want to do that, so then they're not going to join because they don't want to be like this salesy Happy Juice person. So like showing them that you can use social media as regular social media and sprinkle your business in and grow that way, that's what we want. Actually, that was what I was going to talk about next, was using social media as a social media tool. Like be social on social media. Don't just get on and post about Happy Juice or the business opportunity with Amari and do nothing else. Like first and foremost, you need to use social relationships with people and connect with people. Because again, like you can post all you want about Happy Juice, but if people are tuning you out, or they don't feel like they have a relationship with you because they know nothing else about you except for Happy Juice, then that's not going to do anybody any favors. So I'm like really strategic about, like I said, like I don't post about Happy Juice every day or about Amari every day. I feel like I do sprinkle in the business stuff often, but like I don't post Happy Juice and stuff every single day, but I'm always on social media, like in the DMs. I'm like scrolling, liking people's posts, commenting on people's posts. I'm really intentional about stories because I feel like that's how you really like slide into people's DMs. Like you can comment on people's posts and they don't see it or they don't comment back, and like you can't really have like a one-on-one relationship that way. So I'm always interacting with people's stories. Because if you respond to their stories, you slide into their DMs and then you can have a little conversation. And that just builds that like no trust factor with people. And then they're likely going to go watch your stories, because if you pop up in their messages that you've responded to their story, they're going to see your little story bubble. And I can't help but click on that. Like if somebody messages me and I see they have stories, even if I don't follow that person, like I go watch their stories because it's right there. And I'm like, oh, they posted something. I needed to see what they said. So that keeps you like at the front of people's minds when you're constantly interacting with them. And also, if they've ever expressed interest in Happy Juice or the business at all and like didn't purchase, or they did purchase and you haven't, followed up with them, it makes it a lot less salesy and a lot like it just seems more natural when you do go follow up with them about their Happy Juice, or like sending them information on like a promo or something, because you've had all of these conversations about real life and real things in between them, that it doesn't seem like you're only messaging them about a Happy Juice sale to make a sale, Okay. And then my last thing in addition to that was to pay attention. Again, I'm like super into the stories. I feel like stories are like where it's I like never post on my feed, and I don't scroll on my feed as much as I do stories, because I feel like those are your people that are on not constantly, but like they're on consistently throughout the day if they're posting stories. And that's where you can have those like more intimate relationships. But I always pay attention to who's watching my stories so that I can interact with those people, because the people that are watching your stories are your people. Like they're the ones that are going to buy from you. They're the ones that are going to sign up with you. They're the ones that are invested in what you have to say and share and what you're doing. And so I'm always like looking at who watched my stories that day, and I try and go like watch their story bubbles or like tap on their profile so I can like comment on their last post or something like that. You can add those people to like your favorites on Instagram so that you can go to like your favorites feed and just interact with those people really quickly. Just again to keep yourself top of mind, to build those relationships so that when they have seen your 17th post about Happy Juice and they're finally ready to order, like you're just touching, like getting that many more touches in. I love that phrase, but okay, those are all my notes.
I loved all of it. Does anybody have any questions for Abby?
I did not read any of the chat, so sorry.
Oh, I think most of us were just like agreeing with you.
Okay.
I like that Nicole said showing up as your future self. So like going back to that point of like, how do you share about your business if you're maybe not seeing the results like you originally like entered for, or, you know, you're not at that certain point. And I think, like you said, it's important to take people along the journey because people want to be a part of that journey. Like people get excited when you're excited. And I know like it's happened to me, like that's how I got here. I mean, seeing other people share about Amari when like they just got their Happy Juice and they like are sharing about the business and they haven't even like really been in it. At first I was turned off by it, but then I was like, wait, they have a vision and they're like already sharing this and they're super excited about this, and now it's intriguing me. Like where do they see themselves? Like how are they getting there? Like, you know, and then following along, I feel like that is just, it's so important because they are showing up as their future self of saying like, this is how I'm going to be living my life and you can come too. That's very like, it creates FOMO. Like you don't want to miss out on that. So I love that. And thank you, Nicole, for dropping that in that chat because that's something I need to remind myself of every day. But if anybody has questions for Abby, now's your time. You could either unmute yourself or you could just drop it in the chat, or just questions in general. I mean, I know we don't have like these smaller, intimate team chats that much because there's other things happening, like there's other calls happening. But if there's anything that you've ever wanted to ask and just like haven't wanted to do it in a bigger setting, this is another chance for you to do that. Otherwise, we could just wrap up.
I'm gonna unmute myself.
Okay.
I'm like, hopefully you guys can hear me. This is less of a question, more of just like, thank you for the reminder, because I feel like a place that I tend to struggle, especially with social media, is I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I'm like, I didn't show my face, which means no one is going to buy Happy Juice. Oh my gosh, I didn't like post about this, which means like nobody is going to like buy Happy Juice. Oh my gosh. And so then I like get so wrapped up in the things that I didn't do and then like trying to figure out what I should do. And most of the time I just end up doing nothing. And so then I'm like, oh great, that got me literally no. How so I guess it was like, thank you for the reminder that like ultimately like showing up as like who I am and like not forced and not feeling like it's wrong or right or whatever that looks like is, you know, truly the best way to go about it. So thank you for that reminder, because I feel like I get stuck in that loop of like, oh my gosh, like, you know, because I feel like we have so much like support and like incredible suggestions that I like want to soak it all in and like make sure like I'm like taking it all. But I'm like, okay, slow down. Like if you didn't show your face on Instagram today, it's not life or death, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, just navigating myself through that, because yes. But
yeah. And I remember
thank you.
There was a call that Carissa and Ashton did, and they basically said like, we would rather have you show up in a way that's going to be like impactful and not to put that pressure on you of saying like everything you need to say has to be like groundbreaking. But if you're just like not feeling it that day, then don't do it. Like, because it's gonna come across on the other end that like, wow, you are really forcing this. And like this, what was the point of this story?
Right.
Like there was, you know, so
yes.
like I've been having those days and I'm like, you know what, today's just not the day. I'm gonna post about some other stuff, but like I am just not feeling like I'm into educating anybody, or that like maybe I'm just having a really off day and I'm not happy. I'm not gonna come on and
right. be like, oh my gosh, yeah, right, yes.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And that's where I get to sometimes. And yeah, or just like reminding like, okay, Serena, like, yes, you didn't show your face, like you can still type out something meaningful and it might like still get to people, like, you know,
Mhm.
something, even stuff like that, like just reminding myself like it's yeah, it doesn't have to be, you know, everything
It
or
could,
nothing, you know.
it could
Yeah.
literally just be like a video of you doing your makeup or you washing dishes and you could put text over it. Like it doesn't have to,
Yes.
like that still
I'd
counts
say
as showing your face.
arguably that's even like sometimes that's even better. Like
I agree.
obviously if you are like passionate and you're like feeling it and you want to get on and talk, that's huge,
Right.
because like you have the energy and people are going to feel that and they're going to see your smile and feel your excitement. That's huge. But if you're not feeling that way, like I don't watch people's stories. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I don't like watch people's stories when they're talking
Mhm.
unless they have captions. And even then, sometimes
Same.
I just click through and get like the first couple words because I'm like, I don't have time for this. So like
Mhm.
if people just type stuff out, and that's what I do the majority of the time, because I'm like, one, I don't have time to talk. Like, because you're
Exactly, right.
not sleeping, whatever. Two,
Right.
like it's easier to just type it out sometimes and have people be able to just like quickly skim through it and read it and really get the gist of what you're trying to put out there than just
Yes.
completely skip over it. So like if you're not in the state of being able to like talk or share your excitement or whatever, or you're just like tired, and you're like,
Yes.
but I really want to say something real quick, then just like type it up and putting it over a video of your kids or your dogs or your, like you
Mhm.
said, doing the dishes or whatever. That's still going to be more impactful than not sharing, but also like you don't have to
Right.
force something that you're not feeling.
Yes. No, that totally, yeah. Yes.
And I don't know what
All things.
everybody's background is, but like
Yeah.
I started network marketing in this like season where everybody was just like getting on and like basically doing a presentation of like info dump and education. And I think the way that people are consuming content and the way that people are buying based on like what you're sharing is so different now. I think people
Mhm.
appreciate like short, to the point, like impactful, whatever. Even
Yes.
even if it's text, it doesn't have to be like you speaking unless you have that energy. So I think just like kind of observing what actually works with your audience. Like I observe the same thing that Abby does. When I'm posting like straight Amari, my stories go down. But if I'm
Same.
sitting talking about like how I was feeling and I make it like a story and I share about like the overstimulation and all of this stuff, and they don't even know that I'm about to start talking about happy juice, like then
Right.
it's different. So I think it's just like getting to know your audience a little bit more, and you don't know that until you like start experimenting. But I do think people appreciate like short, to the point. Attention spans
Mhm.
are down. Like our attention spans are less than 7 seconds. And if we're sitting,
Mhm.
like talking about stuff for a solid minute and a half, like unless somebody is this close to buying and wants to hear what you have to say, like they probably stopped within the first 15 seconds. So like text actually works a lot better, in my opinion.
Yes.
But on the
Yep.
flip side, still okay to get on and share. Like, even if you notice that your story reviews, if you know that your reviews are going to go down or whatever, but you're like, if you save it to a highlight so that
Yeah.
people, like, I feel like there's a balance. Like, I feel like it's still okay to get on and, like, even if you know that, like, nobody's going to watch it that day
Yes.
or whatever, like, you still want that content up there to save
Mhm.
your highlights for later. So it's like,
Yes.
you can still do that. You can still post graphics to your stories, even if it's like going to be a stream of 5 graphics one time. Like I wouldn't say do
Right.
that every single day, but like if you
Yeah.
do it one
Mhm.
time and save it to a highlight, and then you can be like, if you want more information, refer to this highlight in like a
Mhm.
quick, succinct thing.
Totally
So it's
agree.
still a good balance of like
Yeah.
still do all of those things.
Yes. No, that's all really great. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Any other questions? We have about 5 minutes left. So we could answer a question, or we could just give you 5 minutes back.
I'm gonna hop on here real quick. I tried starting my video and it won't let me, and now I have to go in my settings and allow access and all that stuff. So I'm gonna be just a blacked out face. Okay, so I'm like kind of I guess new still. I signed up a brand partner, which was fantastic last month. But other than that, I have tons of interest. So I'm working on those relationships, which is great. And they just haven't jumped to saying yes quite yet. And I'm in the chat for the new brand partners where Elise is posting like the 10 days of business, like
Mhm.
posting about and talking about the business. So I'm just wondering what your favorite tips to talk about when you do talk about the business. Like, what are your favorite business chats like? Because I have no idea. I don't really have like personal, I can't screenshot the commissions earned thing because I don't have I don't have that yet. So
Abby, do you want to answer?
Yeah. So I think like I would go back to joy. Like I was saying earlier, like even if you don't have the numbers or the charts or whatever to screenshot, like just going back to like what made you decide that you wanted to join? Like what potential did you see? What are you looking to get out of this business? Like being on a team call and like posting like that you're grateful for this community and like the resources that we have and the support that we have and like the fun that we have, or whatever, like having the chats, or if it's because you wanted time freedom, you wanted to support your family, like just going back to like what made you decide that you wanted to join. um because people, like, the numbers are great and the charts are great and it's fun to share and like show people that you're like hitting X, Y, and Z, but really like just going back to, again, like sharing a story of like what you're looking to get out of it, why you joined, what potential you saw. um if you have like experience in a network marketing company previously, like what's different about this one that you vibe with that you maybe didn't find in your last company, or just stuff like that. So
Mhm.
those are my tips.
I agree. I think, and it wasn't like, I'm not saying I did it to purposely bring people over from my last company, but I knew that there were a lot of frustrations with like how the business was run and like the requirements and like things that you had to do. So one of the things that I would do in the beginning was like talk about how much more time freedom I have, and how much more like flexible and actually sustainable and attainable the things that I'm going for are compared to what I had experienced. Like I had to mail out samples, which was like using my own product, and I was mailing things out. So I was at the post office all the time, which is time I do not have now or like want to be spending. I don't want to be spending like all my free time running to the post office and like paying for postage and welcome boxes and all of these things. Like those were things that, it's not to like trash talk my other company, but I would say like, here are some of the things that I was feeling and here's everything that I got back. And that's just like one other way to talk about the business. Like Abby said, like kind of comparing, especially for those people that have experience with it, like how might they be feeling in their current company, and how could Amari, like if they are open to conversations, like how could Amari resolve those?
love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Abby. Thank you for taking the time and putting together your tips. This is recorded, so I will save this and upload it to the YouTube so everybody else can watch it, but this was super valuable. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, guys. Bye.
Bye.